business that I know that solely works cash. And up until now, we've only worked with cash. CRJ, CPJ, receiving cash, paying cash. But most businesses actually also work on credit. Most. Right. And what does credit mean? Credit means, put that in the back, credit means that I buy now and pay later. Right. So the transaction happens in present time, but the paying for the transaction happens later. Now, of course, we're going to have both sides. We're going to have the side where we sell on credit, and we're also going to have the side where we buy on credit. So when we sell, we usually sell to clients. We call those people clients that we sell to. And those people, when we do the transaction, it will say we are selling on credit or we are selling on account, because they have an account with us. Right, and that people we call debtors. Remember, I told you that a debtor is someone who owes me money. Now, before I go on to this, I want you to make a note for me. Before I'm going to allow anybody to buy on credit from me, I'm going to screen them. So what does it mean if I screen my debtors or my potential debtors? It just basically means I want to make sure that this guy that I'm going to allow to buy from me and pay later, that I can trust him. If someone comes in now and you do not know that guy from anywhere, and he asks you to borrow him 10 rand because he needs to go shave, are you going to do it? Yes. Okay, so those who say yes, you actually know in the back of your head that you're giving him the money, because you're not going to get it back. Because you do not know this guy, you do not even know where to find him, you do not know what grade he is. So you have a lot of money just to flow around. What will you do if you don't know him and you feel sorry for him and you want to lend him the 10 rand? What will you do?
I tell him to give it back.
Yeah, and will he?
No.
Yeah.
Asking for his name, grade, phone number.
That's it. You're going to write down in your diary, his name is great. And most probably, you know what I would do is I would take his diary.
Because he's gonna want it.
Just for 10 rand. Yeah. Okay. So you, my sweetie, listen to me. I'm talking to you. If I'm saying, if you don't want to take the information, you must assume you're not going to get the money back. So if you're not willing to give the money away, you have to take precautions. Okay? Even if it's just 10 rand. Okay, but now we are not talking 10 rands here. We are talking more, because we are talking businesses. Right? So, we're going to screen this person first. And the way we screen people is, the first thing is we're going to ask them a South African ID. Now, why is it important that it's a South African ID? You don't want to sell on credit to a tourist, because he flies back to America. How are you going to get your money? You see? So you want to sell to someone who lives in your country, right? Then the second thing you're going to ask for him is his proof that he does live in South Africa. We call it proof of residence. And that's basically any letter that he's received with his name and his physical address, not his P.O. box. Okay, you guys don't even know about P.O. boxes anymore, because we don't send letters anymore. So these days, the things that you are looking for, and I'm quickly going to. So on this email address to me, this is my water account. So can you see there at the top, there in the right, they tell me my name and my street address. So this is a proof that I live there. And I need to take that with. Why? Because I, as a business person, the business wants to know that even if you're a South African citizen, do you live in South Africa? Because if you live in Dubai, I'm also going to struggle to get my money. I can't send someone to fetch it. You get what I'm saying? The third thing I'm going to look for is your salary slip, your salary or your wage slip. Because I want to make sure that you have a job. Remember, we are talking here businesses. It's not your friend that you're lending to. This is someone you don't know. And the fourth thing you're going to look for is your bank statement. And they usually want a bank statement for 3 months. Now, why would they want that? Please listen. Because first of all, they want to see that that salary that's on your salary slip is paid into your bank statement. It's paid into your bank. So it's a real job. And they don't want just one bank statement. They want to see that over 3 months that salary comes in. That must make sense. And you remember when we did bank statements, what did I say? What's the different methods that I pay? So the one would be an EFT. What was the other two things? It's arrangements made with the bank. What was those two things? Both of them end in order. A stop order or a debit order. Right. So now, if I want to apply for a clothing account at Edgar's and they look at my bank statement, first thing they're going to check that my salary is paid into my bank account. Second thing they're going to look is their debit orders or stop orders. Why would they look at that? Because they would want to see if those stop orders went through. What do I mean with that? I mean this. Let's say I've got my bank statement. So debit is most the minus part, credit is the plus part. Now let's say I had a debit order that went through for 100 Rand. Right. Now let's say I only had a balance of 20 Rand. Can that debit order go through? Can that debit order go through? No, because I don't have enough money in the bank. So it means that debit order is going to jump back. We say it bounce. It's going to jump back. It's going to cancel itself. So when I am doing a check, a screening here, and I'm looking at the bank statements, and I see that that debit order jumped back, then I know this guy doesn't have enough money. I need to be careful, and most probably I'm going to say, no, I'm not going to give you credit. You get what I'm saying? See, you just want to safeguard yourself. So, let's go back. When I look, yes, baby. Okay, so now, if I look at this, I said to you, when we sell on credit, we're going to issue an invoice. Remember, I showed you a receipt book once, and I said to you, it's basically, we would write the invoice out, and there would be a blue paper here in the middle, and then it would shine through on the other side, and this would be the original that I'm going to tear out, and I'm going to give it to the client, and this one here is going to be a duplicate that's going to stay in my documentation book. Right. So when I do my journals, I'm going to use this book, and I'm going to have invoice 1, and I'm going to have invoice 2, and invoice 3. I've got all the information like that. And this is how an invoice looks like. You see? So on this invoice, this is the trader. This is the business whose books I'm doing. All right. This is the business buying from. This is the client. Okay. So in this case, we will be BB wholesalers, and my client would be RB traders. And they will show exactly what it is that they are buying. And can you see here they got discount? Can you see that we've got discount here? Now, can you see there's two figures? So which figure would I show in my books? The amount before the discount or the amount after the discount? The amount after the discount, because I'm just worried about what this person owes me. Right? Okay. So, let's go on. So, the person who owes me is a debtor, and that means he's an asset. An asset is a debt account, ne? Meaning, it's going to plus on the debit side. Right, it's going to be a plus minus. Right. So, whenever he buys on credit, my assets increases, and when he pays, my asset decrease. And we're going to do it in a journal we call the debtor's journal, the DJ. DJ, yes. Then we're also going to buy on credit. So when we buy on credit, we buy from what we call our suppliers. Okay. And a supplier, usually we buy in huge amounts from suppliers. The biggest thing we buy on credit would be trading stock. Okay? Because most businesses does not have the cash to buy the initial trading stock. So they would buy the stock. Then when they sell the stock, they get the money. And then they pay the suppliers. You get what I mean? Okay. So now, if I buy on credit, I'm going to receive the invoice. Can you see it's different? When I sell, I issue the invoice. Meaning I'm going to work on the duplicate. Because I give the original to the client. When I buy on credit, I'm going to receive the invoice. So I'm going to receive an original. I'm going to receive the pretty one. Right? Let me do it like that. So I'm going to receive the pretty one. And the person I owe is a creditor, which is a liability. So can you see this is a click guy, ne? He's going to plus on the credit side. So it will be a minus plus. Okay. So, and we're going to do a creditor's journal. Now, if I look at the invoice here, if I look here, can you see that if I buy on credit, I would be RB Traders and my supplier would be BB Wholesalers. The rest of the invoice will look exactly the same. It's just my name would then be in the place of the client because now I'm the client. You guys get what I did? Yes. You asking? Okay. So basically what it means is if I look in this book, remember what I did with this one? If a client comes to me, I write out an invoice. I tear out the original, I give it to the client. Ne? So I'm stuck, and you see the book stays with me. Okay? So in other words, in the book, I will have a summary of all the invoices I've issued. Okay? If, however, I am buying from someone, so ma'am is now the supplier. Ne? Now I buy from her. Now she gives me the original. Can you see I only have the transaction I made's invoice. And can you see now I've got the pretty one, the original one. She keeps the duplicate one. Does that make sense? Okay. So now let's go look at this exercise. So this exercise I made easy because I already sorted it for you. I say, show the following transactions in the books of Skuldwinkel. Now can you see, here it says duplicate invoices, meaning I issued it. So this is DJ's, ne? And here it says original invoices. So this is what I received, so this would be for the CJ. Now I'm first going to do the DJ with you. Right. Now if I look at the DJ, can you see the DJ has only 2 columns? How awesome is that? Ne? Okay, so I know it's the debtor's journal of, and they tell me, Skuldwinkel. December 27. So I say of skuldwinkel December 27. And usually what I do is I will say December is the 12th month, so this means it's the 12th debtors journal. Okay. The headings is my invoice number, day, debtor, folio. First column is sales. And what's the column that's always next to sales? Cost of sales. Right. Happiness. And please draw a line under this because this is a heading, né? So I'm going to draw a line there to show it's a heading. And I'm going to draw a line here to show it's a heading. Okay. And now I'm going to start. And I'm going to do the first one with you. If I look at the first one, it says, the day is number 3. The invoice is 90. The person is Nkosi. The sales is 400. You're not going to fill anything into folio. What is the cost of sales? So here at the top they told me my markup is 50%. So I'm going to say 400 times 100 divide 100 plus the markup. And the markup is most 50. So this is going to give me what? Take out your calculators, calculate for me, and it's going to give you a decimal. And then I want you to round it up, ne? Round it off. What is it? Okay, calculate. So it's 266.66666, so you make it 267. Okay, so on your own, without talking, I want you to finish this 3 for me. So let me finish for you. So on the 10th, it's 92. Why are we talking? And it will be A. James, 800. And this is also a decimal that you're going to round off. And how much is that? 533. Now, on the 16th, they didn't give you a document number, but I know my document numbers just follows, ne? So it's going to be 093. So it's going to be Y Nkosi again. And it's going to be 606. That's it. So 670 times 100 divide 150 gives me. Okay, and then I need to total, ne? So what's the totals? 2233. And this one? 1. And you can actually, listen, you can actually also get that 1487 if you say 2230 times 100 divided 150. Now remember, we rounded off, so you will either get 14866.66 whatever, or 14, but it's going to be roundabout there. Just try. If I now look at the next one, the CJ, I want you to see here that they say the invoices are renumbered. Now remember what I told you. If I go to ma'am and I buy from her, she's going to give me an invoice 702, right? Now, please stop talking. Now I go to another place and they're going to give me an invoice original A3. Because they've got a different invoice book. Ne? If you go to Menlyn, ne? You go to Menlyn and you buy from P&A and you buy from Hyperama and you buy from Exclusive Books, they're all going to work from a different number system because they're working with their own numbers. Ne? So now when I get home, I see, oh, I've got lots of invoices with different original numbers because I've got original invoices. So what I'm going to do, because all of these ones, I want to put it in a file. Stop talking in the back. I want to put it in a file. So I want to put it according to number orders. Is it possible for me to put this in a number order?
No.
No. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to renumber it. So I'm going to say, please stop talking. I'm going to say this is 1 and this is 2. You see? So I'm not using that numbers, I'm making my own numbers. And that's what it means when they say I renumbered. And I will know it's renumbered even if they don't tell me, if I look at the numbers and they follow. Next? Okay. So, if I look at a CJ, I want you to see that this CJ basically looks like a CPJ. Can you see it looks like a CPJ? What's the thing that's different? There's 2 columns that's different. That's it. Because here I would say details, and here I would have said bank. Because that's my 2 different methods of buying, cash and credit. Okay, so if you can do a CPJ, you can do a CJ because everything's going to work the same. You're going to go through the first column, write it in one of the other ones. So it's the creditor's journal of Skuld Winkel. Yes, baby. I cannot hear what you are saying. Why are they? They didn't tell us, so we won't know. Okay. So now, if I look, first transaction is on the 5th, 115 P&A. We buy pens and paper for 70 Rand. So it's day 5, invoice 115, P&A, first column always, and then what is it that I bought? Stationery. You see? Just like the CPJ. Okay, now the second one, if I look at the second one, I can see we bought 2 different things. Now, builder's warehouse is when we want to fix our house, ne? So if I buy shelves, what is shelves in accounting? What do we? Equipment. So this is equipment. And now when they talk nails and paint, they don't talk Q-Tex and nails that you paste on your fingernails. They're talking nails that you put in the wall and paint that you paint the walls. And that would be called consumable stores, or consumables, or we can say service material. Okay. Now, can you see it's 2 different things? So I'm going to classify twice. Am I going to pay builders? Is builders going to invoice me, give me 2 separate invoices? Or is he going to write it on one invoice? And that invoice total, can you see it's 870? Okay. So when I go here, I'm going to put the 870 here because this is what I owe builders. You see? And my invoice will follow, and it's the 10th or the 11th. What's the date? 11. Okay, but now I know there's 2 separate things. There's a 400 and there's a 470. The 400 was for equipment and the 470 was for consumables, or you can say service material. Both is right. Remember, consumables is not necessarily stuff that you eat, it's stuff that you use. The seventh. Thank you, baby. Yeah, it helps that you don't sit next to the wall. Nee, he's been busy today, and it helps you to sit next to the wall because you can see me now. Yeah, good decision. So now when I do the next one, I have to be very careful not to write in this column here. So I'm immediately going to write here that I know not to write there. Okay, so what is the next one? Quickly try the next one on your own-some lonesome. Remember, goods equals merchandise equals inventory equals trading stock. How much did we buy? 3,900. Okay? Okay, he's asking me. I can't hear. Inventory. Merchandise. Merchandise. A merchant sells merchandise. Are you at least learning your English? You're going to enjoy teaching this also. It's better than business. Okay. Oh, sorry. And now I've recorded it. So you're going to hear. Oh my word. Here we go. So the last one